And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Action 10 News First at 4. I'm Greg Chandler. Tonight, a troubleshooter story about two men and a contractor. They've already paid him, but the job isn't done, and now they can't find him. Andy Lascano joins us in the studio with the story. Andy?
Have we heard these types of stories before? We have. I just want to make sure on that, yeah. So what these men are telling me now is, had they known back then what they know now about this particular contractor, they wouldn't be in this situation. Recognize this man? This is Robert Emery. Robert Emery of Designer Woodworks and Custom Cabinets. James Wiggins says he hired him in October 2020.
He posted an ad under skilled services on Craigslist and frankly did a pretty good sales pitch.
Wiggins says these detailed drawings and proposals presented by Emery are what convinced him he was legit. So Wiggins hired him in October to build some custom cabinets and remodel the master bathroom in his home.
He didn't even tile it properly. See, these lines don't even match up. So I'm going to have to basically demo that out and redo it myself.
Wiggins tells the troubleshooters he and Emery agreed to a contract in October, but the work still isn't done.
He was supposed to come back and pull all this stuff up and grout it after he finished, being and floating.
Wiggins estimates he paid Robert Emery $5,700 and says there's been no communication since a text message months ago. And Wiggins says once he started doing his homework on Robert Emery, he found out he'd been in prison twice. The troubleshooters made repeated calls to phone numbers provided to us by Wiggins for Emery. He has not returned our calls. And we've knocked on doors at addresses we were given for him. Nothing.
He disappeared after doing a very small amount of work.
Sound familiar? This is Walter Russell, who also hired Robert Emery.
And after being paid quite a bit of money up front.
Russell told the troubleshooters he found Emery on a Craigslist ad and wound up hiring him in August 2018 to remodel his entire home, and that Emery told him the work would be done in 4 months. Russell says the only work Emery ever did at his house was a bit of framing, and he was paid $5,000 up front. Russell says he'll likely never see the $5,000 he says he paid Emery, and now he's doing most of the work renovating his Flower Bluff home himself.
So what should people do to avoid this kind of scenario, Andy?
Well, first of all, make sure that any contracts that are written up between both sides before you enter this, make sure it's signed, make sure you save all your texts, all your emails, all communication. Then take it to local law enforcement. Now, they may tell you, hey, this is a civil case, nothing we can do. So then, depending on the amount of your claim, you can file a case in small claims court. For the troubleshooters, Andy Lascano, Action 10 News.
All right, thank you, Andy. And as always, whenever you need help from the troubleshooters, just send us an email at troubleshooters@kztv10.com.